going to go on a trip. Beautiful place. Just started. And we have a couple of things. This is the Pharaonic Village ticket. 6 places to visit. Pyramids, inventors. Wow, what a modern history. And then you have tickets there for each of the places. You can see some of these places, some of these things that are happening here. Yeah. And we are about to start moving on the banks of River Nile. There we go. Started moving. Yes. You can see a group of teams coming. Some have been there. And this is ours. We are starting. There we go. A few steps. Go. Oh, thank you for joining us. If you're joining us right now, we are on a trip to the Pharaonic village. Here we are. Oh, we're moving forward. Apparently you're supposed to be having a guide.
Yes, 1 minute, your photo go. 1 minute. Got it?
And
Yes. Speak English, sir? Yes? Speak English?
there we go. Thank you. Sorry for waiting, but we are now on.
Greetings and welcome to the
There you go.
Pharaonic village. This was the inspiration of Dr. Hassan Reged, who wanted to recreate an ancient Egyptian village on the banks of the Nile with as authentic an environment as possible. The village is surrounded by an extensive papyrus plantation, which not only reproduces the ancient surroundings, but also, along with the hundreds of trees which were planted around the village,
Thank you.
provides an effective screen to isolate this glimpse of Egypt's ancient past from sights and sounds of modern life. The Pharaonic village covers an area of 32 acres, where people dressed in the clothes of ancient times perform their daily tasks in agriculture, industry, religious affairs and home life, using replicas of the tools and instruments of the ancient Egyptians. When Dr. Abdusalam Reged took over the village from his father, he expanded it with 10 special museums, covering such varied subjects as mummification, ancient oaths, the Coptic and Islamic periods, and the life of President Nasser. Dr. Abdusalam has made the Pharaonic village into an open book on Egyptian history and culture. You are about to take a voyage back in time to the land of the pharaohs 4,000 years ago.
God Nilis.
Between the trees is a statue of the Roman god Nilos, the personification of the river Nile. Nilos rests his arm on a sphinx, symbol of Egypt's great antiquity, and is attended by crocodiles which were found in the Nile in ancient times. The children surrounding the god represent the new life and fertility brought to the land by the annual flood. First of all, we will enter the Canal of Mythology, where there are statues of some of the principal gods and pharaohs of ancient times. The plant growing in the water here is papyrus, which was used by the ancient Egyptians for making paper. The modern name actually comes from the name of the plant. Papyrus grew abundantly in Egypt in pharaonic times, especially in the marshes of the delta. But it gradually disappeared after new methods of manufacturing paper were brought to this country from China in about 1000 AD. The ancient art of making paper from papyrus was lost until about 30 years ago, when Dr. Hassan Reged started this papyrus plantation and rediscovered the art after many years of research. Papyrus was also used for making boats, mats and sandals, and the lower part of the stem was sometimes eaten as a vegetable. The papyrus plant was the symbol of Lower Egypt, the northern part of the country, while the lotus flower was the symbol of Upper Egypt. As well as being prized for its perfume, the lotus symbolized resurrection to the ancient Egyptians because the flower opens when the life-giving sun is out and closes when the sun sets.
Yeah, the view is beautiful. Yeah. Look at this.
Now let us journey through the Canal of Mythology and meet some of the ancient gods.
I am Osiris, god of resurrection, judge of the underworld, lord of eternity. I was worshipped throughout the Middle Kingdom. When I am painted on the walls of tombs, I am often shown as a mummy, and my skin is green. But when I was king of Egypt, the land was peaceful and prosperous, and I was loved by all, until I was murdered by my jealous brother Set. He tore me into pieces, which he scattered throughout the land. And so I may have remained, had it not been for my faithful wife.
I am Isis, sister and wife of Osiris, and the goddess of fertility. When my husband was cruelly murdered, my sister Nephthys and I searched throughout the land for the pieces of his body, which we gathered from all 42 provinces of Egypt. When I brought Osiris back to life, we were able to conceive my son, Horus, who I hid in the papyrus reeds and raised before instructing him to avenge his father's death.
I am Horus, Falcon Lord, god of the sun and moon. My wicked uncle, Set, murdered my father and stole his throne. When I became a man, I attacked Set to reclaim what was mine. It was a bloody battle, and Set gouged out my left eye, blinding that side of me. But Thoth, the god of wisdom, healed me, and I fought on. In the end, I triumphed and won back the throne. The symbol of my lost eye, the Eye of Horus, is now a magical amulet protecting good from evil. Find it if you can.
I am Amun-Ra, the sun god, god of kings, king of the gods, ultimate ruler of all Egypt. The temple of Karnak, constructed by 30 pharaohs over hundreds of years, was built to honor me. My name means Hidden One, and I was indeed the keeper of a secret name, my most carefully guarded possession. But the goddess Isis tricked me and stole it. On my daily stroll through the heavens, she hid a serpent, which struck me, and as its poison coursed through my limbs, so too did the waters of the Nile spill out over the land, flooding the fields of Egypt. When I felt this agony, I begged Isis to use her magic to save me. I screamed to her, "I am colder than water. I am hotter than fire. I tremble in all my limbs, and the sweat runs down my face, even as in the heat of summer." But still, she would not hear. And so, desperate, I gave to her son Horus his two eyes, the sun and the moon, and whispered to her my secret name, as though she used my powers to strengthen her son. Shall I whisper it to you? Never enough time.
I and what the
I am Tutmosis III, Pharaoh of Egypt, but you may know me as the stepson of Queen Hatshepsut. When my father died, he appointed my stepmother, Hatshepsut, to be my regent, to advise me when I was young, so that I might grow to become a wise pharaoh. But when I reached manhood, Hatshepsut stole my throne and made herself pharaoh. She took over the kingdom and commanded the army in my place. And to commemorate her rule, she erected buildings in her honour, and even carved images of herself as a man with a beard into the walls and tombs of the Valley of the Kings. But my time was coming, and when she died and I became pharaoh, I had those same images destroyed, and her name stricken from the walls of the temples and tombs. I was sure that if I destroyed those relics, the world would forget her. But she has not been forgotten. And so, despite my 17 military campaigns and my great successes as pharaoh, I am often remembered only as Queen Hatshepsut's stepson, the pharaoh child in waiting. Won't history ever forget her reign? When will I be remembered for something more?
Okay. Photo.